General Hospital spoilers for Friday, June 24th teased that Ethan is under suspicion. Ethan walks back into town like nothing happened and boom, suddenly everybody's acting like the air just got thinner. I think the moment he shows up and goes directly to Sunny asking for a job, that's not coincidence. That's strategy. Or desperation. Or both. And yeah, I could be wrong, but people don't just stroll into Sunny Corinthos' world unless they either got guts or something to hide. Now Rick, he's not buying it. Not even a little bit. And honestly, I feel him on that. Rick stepping in, trying to block Sunny from trusting Ethan. That's not just, I don't like this guy energy. That's deeper. That's instinct. The kind that comes from seeing too many things go sideways before. Rick's basically waving a red flag in Sunny's face like, hey, this dude, not clean. But Sunny, man, Sunny doesn't like being told what to do, especially not by Rick. So what happens? Tension, immediate, and here's where it gets messy, because I think Sunny's reaction isn't even about Ethan anymore. It's about control, pride, maybe even a little bit of ego. Rick pushing too hard might actually make Sunny lean the other way, like, oh yeah? Watch me trust him even more. You ever seen someone double down just because they don't want to admit someone else might be right? Yeah. That! So now Ethan gets the job. Or at least something like it. And his first task? It sounds simple on the surface, probably one of those just run this errand, prove yourself type deals. But let's be real, nothing in Sunny's orbit is ever truly simple. There's always a catch. Always a risk tucked in the fine print nobody reads. I feel like this first mission is Sunny testing him. Not just loyalty, but nerves, judgment, whether Ethan flinches under pressure. And if Ethan doesn't flinch, that's when things get dangerous. Because a guy who walks in out of nowhere and handles pressure like he's been doing this forever, yeah, that's not comforting, that's suspicious. Now, shift over to Alexis and Rick. This conversation, it's quieter, but honestly, just as important. Rick's frustration with Sunny spills over, and now he's looking for backup, or validation, or maybe just someone who'll actually listen. So he turns to Alexis and basically asks her to dig into Ethan's past, where he's been, what he's been doing. Sounds reasonable, right? Except Alexis isn't that kind of operator. She's a lawyer, a damn good one. But investigating someone's entire off-the-grid history, that's a different game. That's not paperwork and courtroom arguments, that's shadows and half-truths and chasing ghosts. And I think Alexis knows that. He probably hears Rick out, maybe even agrees that something feels off. But internally, she's like, you're asking the wrong person. Still, she might try, out of loyalty. Out of concern, but trying and succeeding, two very different things. And there's something else here that sticks with me. If Ethan is hiding something, it's not going to be easy to uncover. People who disappear for a while and come back clean, that's usually not clean. That's just well covered. Then we've got Christina, and this part, it feels more emotional than strategic. She wants a private conversation with Ethan. Just talk. Clear the air maybe, or understand him. But Ethan shuts it down, refuses to meet. Now that's interesting. Because I think Christina takes that personally. Like, why avoid me unless there's something wrong? And yeah, I feel like her concerns start spiraling a bit. She's reading into it, maybe imagining worst case scenarios. But at the same time, I could be wrong. Ethan might just be busy, or overwhelmed, or deliberately keeping distance for reasons that aren't even about her. Still, perception matters. And from Christina's perspective, silence equals suspicion. Then comes Tracy. And Tracy doesn't just chat with people. Let's be honest. When Tracy offers help, it's never just help. There's always layers, motives, expectations hiding underneath. So when she steps in, offering support for whatever Ethan's planning, I think she sees potential leverage. But Ethan, he doesn't bite. he doesn't need her help, or maybe he doesn't want it because accepting help from Tracy usually comes with invisible strings attached. So he pushes back. Politely, or maybe not so politely. And that refusal, that tells me something about him. He's either independent or he doesn't want anyone too close to what he's doing. Both are concerning, depending on how you look at it. Now, let's talk about Willow, because this is where things go from to oh no. She agrees to Brennan's deal. And look, I don't say this lightly. Making a deal with Brennan, that's like shaking hands with something you know is gonna burn you later. I think Willow either underestimates the danger, or she feels like she has no other choice. And yeah, I could be wrong, but desperation makes people justify things they normally wouldn't even consider. Meanwhile, Nina is scrambling behind the scenes trying to stop it. And this is where the moral conflict hits hard. Because Nina doesn't want her daughter making risky, potentially destructive decisions. But here's the thing. Nobody wants to say out loud. Willow isn't exactly innocent either. There are things in her past, things Nina knows. So what does Nina do? She needs help. But getting help means telling the truth. At least part of it. And that's the trap. Because once those secrets are out, you don't get to control how people react to them. I feel like Nina is standing at a crossroads. Protect her daughter's future, or protect her daughter's image. And those two things, not always the same. Switch gears to New York, Emma, and Geo. At first glance, it feels like a break from all the chaos. They're happy, relaxed, living their lives. But if you've watched long enough, you already know peace like that doesn't last. Emma being Anna's granddaughter, that alone puts a target on her back. And then you've got names like Sidwell or Cullum lurking in the background. Yeah, that's not random. I think this is one of those situations where danger doesn't announce itself. It creeps in, quiet, calculated. Emma might not even see it coming. And Geo? He's collateral if things go wrong. That's what makes this part unsettling. Not what's happening, but what could happen. Because the setup is there, the vulnerability is there, and all it takes is one move. And, finally, Drew. This one gave me chills, not gonna lie. He's improving, slowly, subtly, and then that blink. At first, Liz brushes it off. Just a reflex, right? Something involuntary. But then she looks again, and I think this is where the tone shifts completely. Because if that blink is intentional, if it's communication, then Drew is aware. Trapped, but aware. And Liz, she's not careless. She's observant. So the moment she starts questioning it, that's when things start unraveling. Because follow that thread long enough, and you get to a terrifying possibility. Drew didn't just get sick. He was poisoned. And if that's true, then the next question is obvious, even if nobody wants to say it out loud. Who did it? And, yeah. Everything starts pointing toward Willow. I could be wrong. This is just my interpretation. But if Liz connects those dots, that's not just a revelation. That's an explosion waiting to happen. So stepping back for a second, what stands out to me isn't just the individual storylines, it's the pattern. Trust being tested, secrets piling up, people making decisions under pressure without fully understanding the consequences. And if there's one takeaway here, something real, something beyond the drama, it's this. When people act fast to fix something complicated, they usually make it worse. I've seen that play out too many times, not just on screen. You skip the hard questions, you avoid the uncomfortable truths, you tell yourself, I'll deal with it later. And then later shows up bigger, messier, harder to control. That's where these characters are right now. Right on the edge of later. And man, it's coming.